welcome back to the Walsall's podcast. We've got Mr. Tom Wolfe, myself, Maya Matt, and then Mr. Keith Brook from A-Star Muscle and Fitness. How are we doing, Keith?
I'm really good. Thanks for having me on.
Absolute pleasure. So let's kick things off with a little bit of background into you. So just for people, if they don't know who you are, where did you start? What sort of your journey been to where you are now?
I'll go right back to the start. So I grew up in Painfort with just my mum. It was a tough upbringing. We didn't have much money. Where I lived, have you ever been to Painfort?
Yeah.
Have you?
Yeah.
What a hole that is. But so I grew up there on probably the roughest street ever. I'd say 90% of people around there were unemployed. The crime were bad, drugs were bad, and it was an hard upbringing. But I got into rugby league when I was 13 years old,
nice.
Criggleston All Blacks, and it kept me off streets a little bit, do you know what I mean? It got me in straight and narrow. And then from there, I got played for Criggleston All Blacks, 13, 16s, and then I managed to get myself an apprenticeship at Wakefield. So we did 2.5 years apprenticeship there. Managed to get myself a contract, but unfortunately, like most young lads at that age, I started going out, parties, girls, clubbing, and they didn't renew my contracts. But I did go on to play rugby for another 25 years at amateur level. And, you know, in them years, especially in the apprenticeship as well, there was gym involved then. So I've always gone to the gym, but never really took it serious until I got into my 30s. So where were I with that? Oh, yeah, so went on playing rugby league for another 25 years. And then when that stopped, I was still heavily involved in the party lifestyle then.
Right.
So I'll talk a little bit about that if you like. So, like I said, as a young lad, I got into going out, but in a big way. We'd go up and down the country, all different clubs, Sheffield, Leeds. And then from then, I got into music heavily. I wanted to DJ, and then I wanted my own night. I wanted, so that's what happened. I sort of made a success of the party lifestyle. Really, I had my own night in Wakefield. Called Stamina. We're getting 800 to 1,000 people in there. I'm getting good money off that monthly, and then I had that, and then I started running a bar called Passion. We had Me and another DJ had half of the business really. So I had the money coming in from the nights. I had the money coming in from the bar, and then we were doing different.
Is that in Wakey?
Yeah, in Wakey. Yeah. So we used to run it at Havana. We started it at Bar Street.
Nice. Yeah.
We started it at Bar Street, and it ran till 8 in the morning. Can you believe that?
Man.
You won't be able to do that now. And then Havana got the wind of how many people was getting through the door, and they offered us a monthly residency with a set wage, and it was just a lot easier from then. And so that went from strength to strength. So I'm heavily involved in this party lifestyle, but sort of making a success of it, if you really. But the bottom line is, though, that I was killing myself because I was drinking 4 days out of 7, staying up on a weekend, going to parties, and something needed to change, you know. So that's when I met my wife, Charlotte, and I just knocked it all on head completely. And then decided to take my level 3 in PT. And then it's just gone from strength to strength there then, really.
Did you completely sack off that side of stuff?
Yeah, I mean, it dragged out a little bit when I first met Charlotte. I was going out odd time, but it's gone from one extreme to the other. I don't drink at all now, really.
I suppose it's one of them. You get it out of your system when you're young. And how many years did you do that for then?
Been honest into my 30s, which is way too long. Do you know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with going out to a beef and going out clubbing and enjoying yourself, but if you're rolling into your 30s,
4 days a week and all that.
You're doing it far too long. But so
your liver rebuilds itself anyway.
That's it.
I guess it's the toll though. You'll know when you go out in you're still in your 20s, are you? When you go out in your 20s versus then going out later, in your later 20s or in your 30s, you can't recover anywhere.
Oh
God, no, it's not for me anymore.
Yeah, so but that's
trying to get outdone productive as well whilst going out every day. It's shit show, isn't it?
Yeah.
So the fitness thing then was quite a late addition then in the
so I did my level 3 PT, and I was still involved in this nightlife, so I was working at Exercise for Less. I'd do about 10 sessions a week.
Yeah,
do you know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
My heart wasn't in it. But so when I knocked all that on the head, got rid of the bar, got rid of the DJing and everything, I thought, well, this is all I've got to fall back on now. So then I went from, where did I go from? Exercise for Less to Lifestyle, it was called then. So got me head in it a little bit more, and we're doing probably treble sessions that I was doing before. And then I got the chance to buy into A-Star with Alistair.
Nice.
He oversold me. It told me it was doing absolutely mint, and it wasn't. It was just, you know what I mean? But that was probably the best move that I've made, and just took it from strength to strength from there, really. But it was tough right at the start with A-Star. There were times when I've had to put my own money in, and I was saying to you earlier, Tom, businesses can be an headache sometimes, but I've stuck with it, and it's gone from strength to strength now. So.
How long had he had A-Star then before you?
I think he'd only had it like a year or two, and he were like on at me to like.
Was that from scratch then? That or a gym
no,
before?
it'd been a gym before called. Right. Oh God, what were it called now? But it were like really rough then. Rugged. It was like a really rough and sawdust gym. I can't remember the name of it now. And then I reckon when Alistair had it, I reckon it were about 80% men, 20% women.
Right.
But now it's more like 50-50.
Which is what you need now.
Yeah, of course it is. Yeah, that was the goal.
That's good if that's the ratio, because it proves that it's clearly appealing to both sides.
Exactly, yeah.
Because you do get gyms that are very easygoing. It's like 99% plus.
It's annoying with like that type. I mean, I say that type of gym. I suppose it's got the stereotype of being an old school bodybuilding gym, hasn't it?
Yeah.
But in reality, you go in. There's PTs in there who are women. When I go in, it's like
we've got women only classes as well.
Exactly, so, yeah. So it's not all just metal and big roid heads.
But because it's had that reputation before, I've just got to get people through the door.
Is that what it was before?
It was before Alistair bought it. It was just one of them sawdust gyms where full of big meatheads and.
But that's more like that's what training was back then, isn't it? Like not everyone. Women didn't really train. It were
appeals to more people now, don't it?
Exactly, yeah.
Particularly on the weight side, I think that's a good sort of. Somewhat modern trend, I think. Like, I think if you go back, I'm trying to think when I the very first time I dabbled in the gym for about a year and then packed it in because it was too hard. Must have been about 15 years ago. Yeah.
Lazy bastard.
I went. I were in when I were in year 11. I went, and then I just couldn't do it. I think I injured my wrist as well.
Oh,
right.
I
On the
think that was
bench.
The case with everybody when they were that age, though. You delved into it a little bit, but now you've got like 70-year-old lads what bang at it 5 times a week, and there's
fucking 13, 40.
Yeah.
How old's your lad?
He's 16 now,
and is he into?
Well, he's at Barnsley now, isn't he? So he's doing strength and conditioning and stuff there. So it were coming down before the season started.
Yeah.
But I think they're doing quite a lot of it now.
So what were life like when you had? Is Alfie your first?
Yeah, Alfie's my first. Yeah.
What were life like when you had him? Were you kind of on your feet?
I won't lie. We're still involved in the party scene. Still at the bar. You need to grow out a bit.
That's probably another reason that kind of forced you to be like.
But as Alfie got older, he saw me in the gym side of everything, which is good.
Yeah,
probably a bit too young to remember when I had the bar and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting now. We're just thinking on that. Like, I wonder if you had still been in that lifestyle.
Yeah.
How the influences for him would have changed. Just because obviously he'll have seen what his dad's doing.
Of course, yeah.
And then he'll be like, whatever kind of viewpoint is on that, be like, he's in the club scene. I'm interested in this, and then it can.
I feel like people with kids, if they're hungover and stuff like that, they don't give them time of day, and do you know what I mean? And you see it, don't you? And like you see parents getting pissed on holiday, and the kids are just sat there, and I'm just glad I'm not that parent. You know what I mean?
Imagine trying to look after a kid hungover.
Yeah.
Like, it's hard enough. Completely sober.
I wouldn't know.
And whatever. Look at even on a light level. Look at Rufus when he's been an absolute handful. And can you imagine that with a hangover?
Yeah,
and he's just barking and jumping and all sorts.
Exactly.
You just you do your head in.
Exactly.
Yeah. So what were some challenges that you faced? Obviously, I suppose building the first business was up in like the nightlife scene, and then some challenges going into the gym side of stuff.
Yeah. It was just like, I'd say the biggest challenge has been going from putting my own money into that business and stressing and thinking, is this even worth it? But I think what I did at the start, I was more concentrating on doing PTs and just using it as a facility to PT in, and not realising it had potential to build it as a gym to get members in rather than just PT clients.
Putting the love into that.
Yeah, so now the gym gets more attention than like my PT, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
and it was the other way around before. So
that's where the potential is, because you can get obviously other PTs in, can't you? And do it that way.
But yeah, it's just like it's just gone from strength to strength, and it was tough at start, and it's tough now because the amount of competition that's out there at the moment. But and in Wakefield, there's so many gyms in such a small area. It's mad.
Yeah.
And like I remember back in the day, there was that you'd have all the commercial gyms, and then there were us. But now they're popping up. everywhere.
Serious? Were you one of the first like proper gyms? I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's because, I suppose there's more people into training, so there's more people wanting to set up their own gyms. Because we trained at Muscle World, didn't we, when we were younger? But
I trained there as well. So when I was on that apprenticeship, what I was telling you about Wakefield, that's where we'd go. We'd go twice. It used to be called, is it Dennis and Lynn? This was years ago, though. You'll have been about that.
Dennis and
K,
Oh, is it them? Still them?
Yeah. No, it's not them.
Oh, right,
it was them, wasn't it? And then Scott bought it off Dennis and K, and then Daz bought it off Scott.
Yeah, it's a fucking great gym, that. Like,
yeah.
Don't have out on A-Star still, but
do you know what? I've never been, have I?
Yeah.
I've never been to A-Star. No, because you and Geordie went and did the review at A-Star.
Yeah. Oh, we did. We could do with redoing that.
So I didn't go. But even from that thing, I'm not just saying this because you're here, but you and Geordie were really impressed with.
We were like, we're going to come back every day. I mean, I didn't come back for months on end after that.
No, but you were impressed by it.
You can't buy advertisements like that because you could see that they were genuinely excited and buzzed off the place, and I hadn't paid them to do that. You know what I mean? So it's like I shared that, and I got a lot of people liking what you had to say.
Well, we had this before, didn't we? Because we've had this conversation where when we're going somewhere, it's do you ring him and say we're coming to do a review? Can you let us in or whatever, and then, or do you just don't say anything, turn up and review it? So it's kind of like that blind, and I think there's pros and cons for both.
I think that the best way is rocking up in it, and you see the gym in its entirety. I mean, we have done the other approach and told people about it and that. And
when we did the muscle pit one,
you were well on it, wasn't he?
Well, but I had to phone with that because I got wind that you needed a key to get in. So obviously, if we'd have just rocked up, we'd have been looking at a locked gate, which wouldn't have been a great review. So I had to ring, but then obviously as a result of that, he massively went out of his way, and he was brilliant, wasn't he? He went to show us all stuff, but he kind of had that heads up. Whereas obviously when you went to A-Star, you got music no clue, banging, turned up, and you were really.
We were just chuffed. We all equipment in there. It's class, to be fair.
Because I'm obviously in the new year, because I'm going to come down, I think, and give it a whirl. Purely because of what Tom said. That it's like
word of mouth. I think what it is with my gym is like, if you were setting up a gym, you can buy all the most fanciest equipment out there, but you can't buy me, you can't buy Lizzie, you can't buy the atmosphere, the vibe that's down there, the music selection. That overtakes any fancy equipment because it plays a massive part in your session. You know what I mean? And it's like people can set up the gyms, they can buy all the fancy equipment, but I do think that they'll struggle to get the vibe that we've got down there.
Yeah, because they are soulless, aren't there, some of these big gyms? They've got everything, but there's no real...
And even then, we were talking before, weren't we, about a well-known gym that has really mint equipment and, and looks-wise, it's brilliant, but... And I've just said, for me personally, every time I've been to them, I just feel really intimidated. And I can't really put my finger on it because I'm not normally intimidated.
I just think it's the type of people in there. They're just, I don't know.
It's because I take my training quite seriously, but I think it feels too serious for me, which is a really strange thing to say when you're really into it. But there's just something about it that just doesn't sit right with me. And I've just felt very uncomfortable. And I hadn't had that anywhere else I've been except that one. That one.
Yeah.
So I don't. Maybe it's just a me thing. I don't know. But
I feel
there's
that
obviously
as well,
something there because we've done a lot of gyms, and it's the only ones that I've felt it in.
So go on, mate.
Go for it.
So I wanted to go back to obviously you went into business with Alistair at the time.
Yeah.
How long were you in business? And
so with Alistair, his plan was always to go to Dubai. So we'd been in business about a year, and he says, "I'm off to work in Dubai." I went, "No, you're not. I ain't going into business with you to go away."
Okay, all right.
And then partnerships are tough. It's like it's hard. I've had a couple more since then, and it's hard. It's if you've got one pulling more weight than other, and then you say, you know, it's like, why aren't you here and why am I here so much? So where I've lost myself a little bit there. So like with Alistair. And then, anyway, so then a year after, he said, I want to go work in Dubai. I went, see ya. Because we'd been bickers and stuff like that, you know what I mean?
Right.
And then when Alistair come back from Dubai, he got stuck. So me and Charlotte like, this is perfect time to buy him out. And then, to be honest with you, the only person that I was seeing at the time, this is in lockdown as well, was Joe. Yeah. And Joe borrowed the money from his parents, and that didn't last long either. So now my business partner's my wife, and it's never ran as smooth. Yeah. She does all the ins and outs. She does all the stuff what had fall through the net before. So it's just running smoothly now.
That's the thing with partnerships. It's tough. I mean,
it is
because especially if you have. I mean, we've got a business with there's 4 of us, and it's like, especially when you've got 4 lads who all have strong opinions.
Yeah.
Fuck me, trying to get anything done.
You can all be best lads in the world, but it's hard to just...
You clash on certain things, I mean, they can work really well, can't they? But like you say, it's just tough, isn't it? Because if you had strong opinions, then Alistair had strong opinions, you wanted to do this, you wanted to do that.
Exactly.
You're going to go at it.
Exactly, and that's what we're happening. And so then when Alistair went to Dubai, you know, this is the stage when I was saying I was just concentrating on the PT and not the potential that the gym had.
Yeah.
And then after lockdown, that's when we sort of boomed a little bit then, and everything went up.
When did you start getting other PTs, and is that like...
So Marina's been there before Alistair. She was there when the other gym was there. So she's been there years, and then people sort of just come to me now. I've just got another 2 part-timers starting next month. So I think what you need to do is you need to build a business where people will come and go, and you still got a good business. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm starting to learn now.
Yeah.
PTs will come and go, and the business will hopefully still do okay without them, whether they stay or not.
What would you say is the most important thing that you've done to make A-Star work? Like,
to be honest with you, we got excuse me, the mezzanine done upstairs, because that used to be like, I don't know if you can remember, but it was like a square gap. There were hardly any room upstairs.
I think I'd have been before then, to be fair,
but obviously we in lockdown we re-mezzaned all that, and it opened upstairs right up, so we've got a right big functional area now, because we used to have treadmills downstairs and stuff, you know, near well, that pulled down
just
and
at
that is at bottom. So and it was just building everything up, building the social media up, getting better kit, and it's just gone from strength to strength.
And touching on lockdown, did that? I remember you had that news article, didn't you?
Yeah. So lockdown, I'll be honest with you, it did us a favour. But before they'd even said that they were going to put any grants out like that, I'd lent everybody equipment in the gym.
Had you? Yeah.
Yeah, like all the dumbbells had gone, slam balls, anything, barbells, anything you could get your hands on. I lent it all out.
Yeah.
And it was tough because we were having to lend it out to the ones that I were worried about the most, because a lot of people's heads started falling off, especially the bodybuilding lads. So I lent all that equipment out, hoping that they'd carry the membership on. I'd say about 40% carried the membership on.
Right.
And then we got the grants, and because that membership had carried on, it made us quite flush. So in lockdown, I was being able to do a few improvements, like get the odd machine, put the mezzanine in and stuff like that. And then because I'd been so supportive in lockdown as well, we had like an online group where if anybody needed anything, if anybody needed to talk, you know, I was doing kettlebell classes in my garage.
I remember seeing that.
we was the only ones what was active in lockdown. What gave a shit, if you get what I mean? Do you know what I mean? So that's one of the reasons why a lot of the members didn't cancel the membership. Letting all the equipment out. I was doing a class every Thursday. Marina were doing twice a week in a garden. And people were jumping on it who want members and stuff like that. And I think they appreciated it. And then when they opened the gyms back up, that's when we got a big push of new members then.
Yeah. What were the BBC or ITV that didn't someone write an article on you not refusing to close?
Yeah, so
I saw.
Oh god! So what happened is there were all the gyms in the country had started this WhatsApp group. There were hundreds of gyms in there.
Right.
We're all staying open. There were a couple of gyms in Wakefield what said it as well. What didn't do it? And Joe at the time got obsessed with this, and they were like, "We're staying open. We're standing as ground, aren't we?" I was like, "Yeah." So Tom, my wife, went, "No, you're not." I went, "We are. We're staying open." And she were getting beef about it. She was like, "You're making a mistake." And then the night before, one of my old clients who was a copper, she rang me, and it wasn't a formal conversation, it was a genuine conversation. Like, Keith, look, I get why you're doing it. I'm just worried. She goes, you've got 2 kids. She goes, I'll be honest with you, first fine it morning's 10 grand. And I was like, but I'd already put it out there, and I was thinking, I've told everybody we're going to stay open. And all these gyms, what were saying they were going to stay open in lockdown.
They weren't.
No. So, cut a long story short, Joe went in morning, all Black Mariah's turned up, and they says, look, we've changed his mind, we're not open, and they left us be. But they must have come to gym in lockdown 20 times.
It's a load of shit in it. Closing gyms when everyone needs them the most, when everyone needs to be healthy.
I think what I didn't realise until that, how much it meant to people. Like, people were like, I had constant messages of people what were just in a bad place. Do you know what I mean? Because the gym wasn't open, and it put me under a lot of pressure because people were asking for more equipment, and I was like, it's all gone. I'm really sorry. And you know,
you've done all you can to help people, haven't you? And
well, people were getting as well, like, priced out, weren't they? Because obviously when this happened, like, all the, you know, your basic kids barbell set from Argos that used to be like 90 quids on eBay for 450 because,
it was
you
mad
know,
how much it went up.
There were people being quite creative actually as well. There were people making like concrete discs and stuff and plates, and people were really quite creative, but it obviously drove the price of everything up. And then weights wise, even like resistance bands were like rocking our shit trying to get hold of, and so expensive as well.
Well, the first time that they did it, it was on the Friday, and I was due back in the evening for my evening clients, and it was at 4:00, and I watched it with, and they just said that we're it last night. This was a Friday night, and I didn't dare go back into work. I didn't, because Lizzie's ringing me up, hot PTs are ringing me, and I'm like, are we shutting? I'm like, we've got to. And then I just started like panicking a bit, cleaning all my garage out, and like to make a PT studio. Charlotte's like, Keith, get in that house, answer that phone, and deal with it. Do you know what I mean? Because it was just like, it was such a stressful time, you know, like you've got all them members were messaging me, what's happening with my membership, PTs were ringing me, and I was like, God, it was stress. It was
still
stress.
got all your bills
time,
to pay.
It were a weird time.
I
remember.
Well, gyms were closed. Gyms was first, wasn't there? Remember?
Yeah.
Which is, it's just wild, isn't it?
It is when you think back, but because I was, when that thing came, when the news were announced, I were in Muscle World at the time.
I think I might have been, actually.
I think you were as well. So I'm going to say I thought you were.
It was 4:00 on a Friday.
Yeah. So I were in there, and I knew Daz had got a spare dumbbell set in his garage. I knew he had because he told me before. So I said to him, right, I'll keep paying my membership. Can I have your dumbbells? He says, come round in the morning and grab what you want. And I was living with my mum at the time, and his hours were basically about 50 paces from my mum's house. It were like through a ginnel, and it were there. So that were it. Saturday morning went and took 5 sets of dumbbells, and I had a bench already, and I were like well kitted out.
It were like rocking.
But obviously people weren't that lucky, were they?
Training in lockdown for me, it's best shape I've ever been in. Fittest I've ever been. I was running like half marathon.
That's what I was doing, lots of running, because I took loads of kit home, but then I thought, I'm not rubbing salt in wounds by, like, you know, showing them what I can do in my garden. So I was just doing 5Ks, and I was getting them all put in this lockdown group, the times and stuff like that. And
so we did loads of stuff like that.
Like loads of little gym challenges where we're doing Sally up, Sally down.
I remember that.
Press ups live and stuff like that. Put your times in here and just all that. Yeah,
weird time to be alive.
Very weird.
It were really odd when you think back, but it wrecked. It were. They shouldn't have shut gyms, I don't think.
Yeah.
I don't think they should have shut.
Certainly not, because they seem to they almost shut gyms as a matter of priority.
Yeah.
Which is really annoying, because it's like,
did they shut gyms before bars?
It was stupidly early.
Before pubs and bars.
It was stupidly early, and they just didn't take into account any of not just the health benefits, but all the mental benefits. That a lot of people go to the gym for the mental state, don't they?
And that's what we come to realise. They're like the heartbeats of the community, aren't they? And I didn't realise what effect it'd have on people when they couldn't get in that gym. It was crazy. So crazy times.
Did you train in? Obviously, you said you were doing 5Ks, and because are you in better shape now than you've ever been in? I see you post stuff and you're like,
yeah, I mean, it's like with my training at the minute, it's like I've been big, I've been ripped,
right?
But we're like the bodybuilding side of stuff. I've got so bored with it. Everything's become so slow and calculated, and I just needed to do something else to relight the fire a little bit. So that's obviously I do boxing and I do the high rock stuff now.
How long have you done boxing? Have you done boxing competitive?
Couple of years, no. I've had a couple of white collars, but not competitive. I just love the training side of it. I love it in the pads, and you know, you when you're with a pad man, it's like non-stop. You go to hit a bag, you do 20 seconds, you walk about, you blow a little bit, don't you?
Yeah.
But like when you've got a good pad man, it's some workout. You know what I mean?
It's fucking hard, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do you do like because I know you got like PTs obviously there. Do you like boxing PTs and stuff out here?
Yes, Taz. I train with Taz.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Taz trains me. I've trained with him in lockdown in his garden in some shed in Rothwell and stuck with him all the way through it. And when he was at Ultraflex a few times, I didn't like going up there, but he was best pad man about, so I was going up there upstairs in there. And yeah, I've got into all this high rock stuff now. I'm loving it. It's like really let me fire a little bit. Yeah, it's more. It's got not like Olympic lifting and all like that. It's a lot more functional and running. There's a lot of running involved in it. So how I got into that is Elevator was just open around the corner. Really good lads. There's 3 of them. They had like an invitation gym day. And I was like, I don't know, some movements and stuff. He goes, just come down, you'll be sound. So I took 3 of my fittest lads from my gym.
Right.
But when we got there, they were all CrossFit gymmers, do you know what I mean? And I was like,
different type of
fitness. So he put the workout on the board and he was like, right, up and down that rope. I don't know how to go up and down that rope, do you know what I mean? Yeah. But they made it so welcoming, and I just got the buzz for it that day. And with the Elevate boys, they were like, did you enjoy it? I said, I absolutely loved it. He said, why don't you train with us next Thursday? We started with this little club on a Thursday where it's just hardcore. It's all their trainers, some of their best lads at that gym, and some of my best lads from my gym, and it's like, it's hard. It's like, I'd say 98% of people won't be able to do it. Some of
serious,
it. Yeah, it's some
sounds like a
mad animal
video,
shit.
doesn't it? That
it always puts me off it because I know that first few sessions is going to be fucking horrendous.
Yeah.
Until you build up that base.
But everybody's got different. Everybody's at different parts of their life in that we're training, and obviously, I think because I've done it that long, I've just got bored
with the bodybuilding.
I just
stuff.
got bored. Yeah, I still enjoy like training legs and stuff like that. But I feel like I don't know. Sometimes like pull downs and stuff like that. I'm like, is this it? Is that it? You know what I mean?
You want something tougher?
Yeah, that's it. And I just had a word with myself like. Probably this year, and I'm thinking to myself, when was the last time you did something like really hard? And I just couldn't think of it. So I put my trainers on. I went and did a 5K as fast as I could. Nearly died. And then did it again week after, knocked a few minutes off it. I thought, I've missed this buzz. I've missed this challenge. You know, the voices in your head saying, go on, you can't go on. And then from then, that's when I've just been doing all this type of high rock stuff now. So this weekend I've got my first competition actually. The high rocks I've got Elevate. I've got the first inter club one. So like you're in pairs and set the workout, and then you get the fastest times and stuff like that.
Who's the partner
then? Ryan Waugh. He's a very fit lad.
He's a beast, isn't he?
And then I'm doing the high rocks in January in Manchester with one of the Elevate owners. So Nick, so that should be good.
Cool. So what's the sort of main, this is just as a like someone ignorant, what's the main differences then just between CrossFit and high rock, would you say?
I think there's a lot more Olympic lifting in high rocks, in CrossFit and gymnastics. It's a lot more complicated. I reckon, you could just jump into the high rock stuff if you're a bit raw and pick it up a lot quicker than you would the CrossFit stuff.
Just like less technique stuff to get down.
Yeah.
Have you ever thought about doing that at A-Star? Or?
Do you know what? It's like we've got all the kit ready. So like you've got the ski edges, the rows, the bikes and stuff like that. But you can't drop barbells upstairs on the mezzanine, which would be perfect for the class. So it's fine in the summer. You can set the barbells up outside with the bumper plates and that. But
Yeah, well, to be fair, mate, I think you've done a mint job at A-Star. So
yeah.
I'm intrigued to see, but yeah, you've proper raved about it. So
yeah,
it's a good gym. But
I think what makes it stand out from the other gyms is just like the people, the friendliness, the atmosphere, the vibe. Do you know what I mean? The equipment's good, but you can get better. But if you go to that better place, you won't have the atmosphere and the vibe. Do you know what I mean? So it plays a big part on people's workout. They need to look forward to going there. And the gym, what we said earlier, I reckon most people will look forward to going there. They'll look forward to using the equipment. but not, you know what I mean?
It says a lot, doesn't it, that, you know, when you push Dambo on, like, obviously when we asked him, like, which is your favourite gym, obviously your own, but if you can't pick your own, where would you pick? And he didn't take long to think about it before he said A-Star. So,
Dambo's a good lad. I speak to him quite a lot about everything, and yeah, there's no... a lot of Dambo's friends are in my circle of friends as well. So obviously some have gone to Dambo's already, and that's how it is. It's just how it is. But yeah, he's a good lad.
Yeah, I think you're better making friends in the industry, aren't you? And because there's enough people in Wakey, definitely.
Exactly.
For everyone, isn't there? So if you all push each other up.
That's it. And we've just done this, we're doing this charity thing this Christmas. We've done it at A-Star for the last few years by itself, where we've collected for the homeless. I've gone down different paths, so like we collected clothes at one point, and if you'd have seen how many clothes were in the gym, you couldn't even get in studio. Then the year after, we decided to change it a little bit, and I got in touch with a lady at Wakefield Street Kitchen. She was like, "Oh, there's kids out there what aren't getting gifts," and I was like, "Oh, you're joking." So then we were getting selection boxes and deodorants for the teenagers and stuff like that. And then I met another girl at Wakefield Target Support Group. And I went down there, she showed me around, and she was telling me how many kids will go way out this Christmas. And I'm like, wow, I need to do something about this. So then that's when I got my ideas together to get everybody involved. So we made a massive impact, like 5 vanfuls we got last year of selection boxes and deodorant and everything. And I went and blew loads of money in Sports Direct and got sacks of clothes. And then I just thought, if I can get everybody else on that, like Joe Ralphs, Elevate, Dambo, and they've all got... Look at impacts we could make on that.
Make a real difference there, can't you?
So we're just getting... It's a little bit early days yet because people haven't started the Christmas shopping, but I've got everything set in place. I think there's 11 gyms behind it. And then we can start giving them out to the less unfortunate kids at Christmas again.
Yeah, which it's not all about making money, is it?
Yeah. And it's great. When you've got a platform like a gym, it's so easy to make an impact. You know, if you've got 300 members and if you ask them to spend £5, which most people won't turn their nose up at. Next time you come in, fetch me selection box, and that could make a little kid's morning, you know.
Quality,
you won't believe how many of them wake up with nothing.
Is that people like in the UK then, just people from bad backgrounds?
I think the Target Support deal with people with alcohol problems and drugs and stuff like that, and then their kids don't get what they should do. Do you know what I mean? Then, the Wakefield Street Kitchen is a lot of the homeless or like really struggling families, only just make ends meet, so there won't be a lot of Christmas presents flying about them.
Fair play, mate.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you think of the sort of the climate at the minute as well, there were, probably quite a few of those families before, and now with, price of food, energy costs going up, all that shit, it's just, they're going to be in a more dire situation, and there's going to be a lot more on that list, so
people, you won't believe it, a lot of people are struggling now, sitting in dark because they can't afford to put the electric on that next day, and it's bad.
Well, it's crazy.
It is bad, but obviously, when you've got a big 11 gyms like that and you come together, you can make a massive difference.
Yeah, you're making a huge difference, and it's fair play to you for bringing all them gyms together, like being the one to go out.
There were only 1 or 2 what didn't get back to me. Everybody else said yes straight away. So. Get ball rolling with that shortly.
Yeah, fair play, mate. Yeah. So going back to your upbringing, I feel like we just skimmed over it.
Yeah, maybe.
Super quick.
I think I jumped straight into rugby, didn't I?
Yeah, obviously you said you grew up with your mum, so your dad won't.
No, never bothered with my dad. He still tries to get in touch now, but he wasn't there when it mattered. You know what I mean?
Right.
So my mum did her best, but she didn't have much money, and it was tough growing up, especially in that area as well, where drugs and crime were rife. But managed to get out alive.
Do you feel like you learned a lot of lessons from that? Obviously, growing up without much, because you see kids that grow up with everything, and
I don't know how, but like I remember going back to some of my old jobs when I were roofing. I were on £20 a day, but I've always managed to.
Is that before all the clubbing stuff?
Yeah, that's it.
All right.
Yeah, I've had some dead end jobs in the past as well, but I think most young lads have, haven't they? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I always managed to make my money stretch, even like when I was just getting the bloody £100 a week. You know what I mean? It's
putting it away and saving.
Yeah, sort of, or just dealing with it correctly.
Yeah.
That's good though. Not many that's a skill in itself that you just I guess you just picked up.
Yeah, that's it.
Holistically.
But yeah, I mean, if you'd have looked at me then as a teenager and looked at where I am now, you wouldn't have thought it was going to happen.
No.
Yeah.
Obviously, you've got something inside you, mate, that...
That's it.
That some people don't have, and some people can't get out of them situations, but obviously you've seen the way to do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, fair play, mate. I mean, we've got some Instagram questions.
Oh, yeah. You said there were good ones, yeah. So
only a few, to be fair, this time, but I did ask.
It's about quality, though, isn't it? Not.
Do I get to know them off or not?
You can't. I mean, I've got the first names written down, but I can show you after, mate. So, what type of training would you recommend to someone at 17 years old? CrossFit, bodybuilding, or sports? I suppose it means like football, rugby.
That's a tough one. You'd have thought by 70-year-old they'd have already played sports, wouldn't you?
Usually your parents get you doing it, don't they? It's
a tough one, that, isn't it? Because the easiest one to fall into would obviously be bodybuilding, wouldn't it? And then you could do the chest, back, the legs. But at the same time, I hadn't got started in like the IROC stuff until I'm into my 40s. I mean, it depends on the person and what they want to do.
What they enjoy,
but we've got a lot of young lads coming in the gym now, and I just make sure that they're lifting the correct weight, they're respecting the gym, and that's about it, really. But I think like the only thing is most young lads at that age just try and lift as much as they can. And like I see some of them deadlifting, I'm like, his back's going to pop shot.
Like
I have to go over and tell them, you know what I mean, and just say, like, mate, you're going to have to lower that weight. You're scaring me.
Have you ever had to boot anyone out? Like,
no. Do you know what? Over years, there's hardly been any knobheads in that gym. It's so strange. Yeah. I remember one lad coming down and. He must have been at exercise for less or something like that. I just kept leaving plates and everything. I says, mate, you're not exercise for less now. Take them off. And then he did it again. Right. And I was like, you've left plates over there. But I've hardly told anybody off in that gym. A lot of people respect it.
It's a mutual respect, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it.
I mean, when you've got you, Burno's built like a brick shit house, and Tazu's obviously a fucking animal, you don't really fancy pissing any of them off, would you?
No, that's it.
It's good, though, you enforce that. Like the plates putting back, because I whinge about it all the time. It proper pisses me off when people just leave it. When you've got to start to do an exercise to unload the machine, is a right piss take.
The only thing is with the young lads, they always seem to train in 3s and 4s.
That is an issue.
And they're just like in the way sort of thing, you know what I mean? Like,
and then tech forever, because they're all doing the sets.
How many sets you got? 10?
10.
Right, all
10
right.
each.
10 each,
with 5 minutes rest.
We're seeing an hour then.
And they don't, and some of the younger ones, they don't have any social skills, so you ask them and they just mumble something back at you and you're like, oh, mate. Fucking move.
You get that everywhere, though, don't you? It's impossible. I think it's just that generation, and you just can't.
Yeah, it's the best place for them to be. It's obviously to build yourself and the character, like especially at a gym like A-Star, where there's loads of young lads, young women talking to each other, pushes it. Because like gym group and pure gym, you could go in, you could put your earphones in, you'd never have to speak to anyone, would you? And you're never going to build that.
Yeah,
no one speaks to anyone. When I go in,
you train at gym group.
I know, and I hate it. I hate it because the only reason I went was purely because when I had my daughter, it's 24 hours.
24 hours.
You can go whenever you want. It doesn't matter. You can literally just rock up and you're there, and that's why I moved there, because it were easy access. The other reason is because it's smack bang next to an Asda.
Yeah.
So I can literally go to the gym, get all the nappies and whatever else other shit I have to get, and then go home in one fell swoop. So it just made. It was making my life as easy as I possibly could.
Have you like exhausted it now though? Have you had enough of it?
It does my head in, mate. Like I'm genuinely, I need a change anyway, just for because you start to feel when you go in and you're just getting pissed off at the gym. That's not right, is it? You should be like, I know what it's like when you look forward to go to the gym and you think, I want to go, so I need somewhere else. But the machines, like. Because you were saying yours aren't the best, like before, but I'm sure they're of like a good enough standard.
I think they're mega, me.
No, I don't mean that they're not the best. I mean that there's better. There's better gyms. There's better equipment in other gyms, but they still won't be able to. You still get a better session at A-Star. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah. But there's like one of the one at the minute that annoys me is like there's a shoulder press, and to get into it. You have to like come in here and do that, and your first rep's tearing your shoulders out.
That's it.
And it's absolutely. I'm like, thinking, who the fucking hell designed that? No one's ever trained. I tell you that. Before. Like, no way. But so.
I mean, they all pay the membership, the young lads, and That's it. They add to the business.
Exactly. Yeah.
And like you've got to think when you were 16, you didn't want people turning the nose up at you, did they?
No.
So
I almost got booted out twice. First
I just told them to be
mate.
careful. You know what I mean?
With Muscle World.
Yeah, I loaded 60 on incline.
You got stuck.
Incline press. Yeah, I got stuck. My mate was that weak at the time. It must have been 50.
He couldn't get it off
He couldn't get it off me. So
Oh,
owner
no.
comes over and he says, "Lads, you need to stop pissing about. Like,
Yeah, there'd be a telling
take
off
that
for
weight off." And we're like giggling about it like little fucking knobheads. And then the day after, we were on Smith machine training chest twice in a row.
Yeah.
And again, fucking 80 kilo. Just got stuck again. And he comes over, he says, "It's your last chance now."
Yeah.
And then my mate Ben, he thought he was like big time at the time. He was like, I can do it, watch me. Anyway, he gets under it and he's fucking struggling with it and all.
I remember
that.
we used to have the vertical
Yeah,
leg
it
press,
does.
you know, where you laid on your back and your legs
Yeah.
are going straight
Oh,
up.
God.
And I'm walking through gym and I'm going upstairs and there's a bloke and he's bent in half, his knees are on his chest. I goes, "Are you stuck?" And he went, "Yes." Lifted it off him.
Yeah,
Oh my
yeah.
God, it looked like we were going to die.
Yeah. Have you ever had anyone like proper hurt us then at gym doing?
No,
daft
but when I worked at the gym that he goes to, I had a girl have a fit on me and that scared the shit out of me.
Fucking
Oh,
hell.
Yeah. And she just screamed in the gym, but like they were only young at the time,
Yeah.
and they used to piss about all the time. She fell up floor, goes, "Get her, what are you doing now?" And then she was like shaking, and she went like that in
hell,
gym,
yeah.
and like everybody stopped what they were doing. I was like, "Whoa, session's over. Why didn't you
Yeah.
tell me you had fits?" You know what I mean? But I think she hadn't had one since she was a child. And,
Right, okay.
Yeah, it freaked me out.
I'm going to say a heads up would have been quite nice, wouldn't it, from your point of view?
Yeah.
Well, you should really have like, what is it? Is it?
Park heel thing.
Yeah, behind.
But yeah, no, like freaky stories in the gym. I remember once training at Total Fitness and training with my mate's dad, Martin Petrowskis, and he had full stack on lat pull down. It snapped, and he split his head like a banana. Yeah,
Oh, God.
I know.
Just
Were
when he
them,
cracked himself
Stood
with
up and
bar.
wiped it all off because he's a big monster. But I was like, oh my
Or
God.
them shitty. Because I trained at Total Fitness,
Yeah.
I fucking hated the
crap,
gym
innit?
to be honest. But were them shitty like they want cables? Like, what would you
I
call
know what
them?
you mean.
Like
yeah,
bands.
Like, almost like bands, yeah.
Yeah.
Because the equipment in there that I were finding it were breaking, and then they were taking like 6 months to fix it, or
Yeah.
not fixing it at all, which is
Yeah, you
just
need to be on
crazy,
the ball
innit?
with that. We use a company, and they are international, but they piss about sometimes. But I'll be on it. I say you need to come today or tomorrow.
yeah.
So you know, it's cables. Cables go out of time, really.
Do they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Just before you move on, like, what sort of how close to your capacity are you at the minute? Like in terms of members, how many members have
God,
you got?
it's so
and
weird
whatever?
because Tom will tell you this. We've got I think there's about 250 members on rolling contracts, but 400 come through a month. So it's like you get a lot of people on day passes, you get people that pay, we just want month to month, and it feels like we've got 20 members. Do you know what I mean? Some days you'll go in, you'll be like, where is everybody? But the membership system's really high, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I think Lizzie worked it out over a day. I think we get about 120 people a day through door.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah,
What is it for a day pass at your place?
So £5. But
It's all right, isn't it?
Better than fucking £12.50 that we've been paying
Oh,
innit,
God.
to some
Yeah,
places.
yeah.
You want to up your prices, Keith?
I know. Well, we did it not long ago, and I was really, really worried about it. But we hadn't changed them for over 10 years.
Up to membership
Yeah,
prices.
25 to 30.
Yeah.
And where things are at minute in New Year, it might have to go up to 32. It's
Well,
only
it's,
£2. Nobody's going
yeah.
to be bothered about 50 pence a week. You know,
Electricity's gone up.
Yeah.
Everything's gone up.
Yeah,
Right? So
yeah.
you've got to make your way and all, haven't you?
exactly.
You got to compare it as well to the ones that are around, because even like the gym group and Pure Gyms are putting their prices up slightly.
Yeah,
Oh, they
So-
are big time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
'cause I think I'm pretty sure gym group is it 1750?
Yeah.
It might even be 1750 on an offer actually.
I can remember back in day, exercise for less with a tenner.
Warrior.
Oh yeah,
Tenner.
I know.
yeah.
But they're all about just getting members out there. What they
Yeah.
want is members what don't train.
Don't
Just
go.
forget about it 'cause it's that cheap.
Yeah.
Well,
You know what I
they're
mean?
they're rubbing their hands out there because January's not that far off. They're thinking, great, there's going to be 500 people join. Not
Yeah.
one of them will come.
Yeah, that's
Easy
it.
money.
That's exactly how they work the business. That they just try and
Yeah.
get as many members as they can, and hopefully most
Well,
of them won't come.
Big corporate companies out there.
Yeah.
There's not no soul, have they, or face to
No,
them,
no,
so.
exactly.
Do you notice a spike in memberships and revenue, I suppose, in January? Or
Oh yeah, 100%.
Big
Yeah,
time,
yeah.
yeah.
We always get a big rush of people. And some last, some don't, and it is what it is, and they're all welcome. But
Yeah.
sometimes people work it out that it's not for them.
It's mad to see though, isn't it? When you look back at, I mean, if I look back at sales, obviously I've only had shop 2 years, but if I go back 12 years, there's a graph, and every January is just up here, and then it just slowly goes back down. Obviously, goes back up for January.
Yeah,
it's the new year, new me thing, isn't it? It's always.
It's more to be honest with you. It's more like end of January when you get that rush. I feel like just after Christmas, nobody can be asked though.
Everyone's still hungover,
and like it's definitely well into January. You start getting people and people are skint as well, and same with PT. It gets to end of January, like right, I need to get my ass in gear. I'm gonna get PT.
That's when it kind of kicks off. Yeah.
When does it start to tail off normally?
Have
you noticed?
Probably around about next few weeks, to be honest.
End of January, and then beginning of February.
March.
Them cold dark nights, people look out. They're getting after working on a building site all day. Think
fairs,
you know what I mean. But yeah, so probably up to Christmas. Next few weeks is hardest time, and then it comes again. Then
Solid.
This is quite I want to know this one as well. I see some of your meals, but do you track food or do you just eat whatever you want?
I train that hard that I don't track anything.
Do you know what? I thought you didn't.
No, I balance it out. I have oats for breakfast every day. I sell prep meals. I'll have 3 of them a day, and then I'll have a meal what our last has made on the night.
So you eat quality anyway, like
it's like I'm not eating shit, but I'd say about 70-80%. Eating healthy. Not even 80-70%. And I'm no angel with food, but my output is pretty ridiculous. So
you can get away with it, can't you?
Yeah.
When you're busy all the time.
Funny, Zane said exactly the same thing. Do you know when because someone we know, he used to bodybuilding and then went into CrossFit and like absolutely loves it.
Yeah.
And he looks mint.
Yeah.
Like his physique's really, he's going to see this and he's going to go right to his head, isn't it?
He might, hopefully I'm at it this
and you'd think his diet would be absolutely amazing.
But he's said like he's not even tracking his food because his output's just so high.
Yeah.
And his strength's going up, his physique's looking, mint.
Yeah.
And it's just, I'm like, I guess, because they always say you can't out-train a bad diet. I think it depends. I think some people can. If your output's high enough,
I agree.
It still comes down to that basic science, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So it's possible.
Obviously, you won't pass that knowledge on to your average Joe, but...
no, but they're not training anywhere near as much.
But like, I'm in there every single day, and I'm working hard every single day, so...
And how old are you, Keith?
44, nearly 45.
Well, I'm going to say, do you know when you said, I played it for 25 years? I went,
I didn't know. I didn't know you were mid-40s. So what would you say to all, I mean, there'll be a few older blokes listening who have probably made that excuse that, I'm fucking knocking on now,
I know, that's
do
it.
shit.
And I feel like I'm literally only just getting going now.
Yeah.
So I'm 45 in January, and it's like, it's definitely the fittest I've ever been at minute.
Yeah.
Good, that.
Like, really... Yeah, the stuff I'm doing now, I never thought I'd be able to do. So,
I bet it pisses you off when people say, I could have done that in my 20s. It's like, you can still do it. Man.
Yeah, exactly.
To be fair, they'll probably hate you because they'll be like, I could have done it in my 20s. And when you go, I'm 45, like,
I can't. That is unbelievable, mate. Fair play.
Yeah.
It's a good thing for your kids to look up to and all, though, isn't it?
Yeah,
like,
of course, that's it.
That's what it's all about, isn't it?
It's not them. It's good for us to look up to as well. Just slightly behind you, but thinking, you're still making progress and whatever. It's good.
I can't see me slowing down anytime soon, so I reckon I'll be still fit when I'm 50, 100%.
Oh, yeah, definitely. You'll be going to like 130, lad.
Yeah, that's what you want, isn't it? The thing. I would say just on that, it's kind of, because one of the things that Dambo said, because he said, I'm sure it was Dambo, he said that he thinks diet's 80% of, training as a whole. What's your stance on that?
Danbo's the expert with the diet side of things, isn't it? So he's going to say that. But like I said, we've with some people, you can get away with eating 60%, 70% good food. And then obviously I'm a prime example that if your output's good, you're going to get away with the bad food and that sometimes.
So I guess like sort of to simplify it down, and maybe this is a bit of a harsh question, but which do you think is more important, diet or training?
It depends on what your goals is, doesn't it?
Yeah, I suppose it does.
If it's for your mental health, training.
Let's
if it's
assume
for weight loss, diet.
Let's assume it's like physique, strength, like performance, aesthetics, whatever, not the mental side.
Yeah.
Which would you say?
It'd probably be diet, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
it's
diet.
Like I'm just like one of the select few who does that much output that I can eat bits of shit.
But you eat good as well.
Yeah, of course I do.
It's like, benchmark of shit is very different to most people. Because what you describe then is cleaner than most people. I eat absolute crap, and then you describe that.
My last meal at night won't be out bad, but then I'll be into cereal just before.
Oh, right, yeah. So. You need them carbs though, don't you?
I've got to be honest, and that's my thing.
What vices do you have? Like, what is your vice? Obviously, you mentioned earlier. I don't know if it were on podcast or not, but you don't drink anymore.
Not really. I don't not drink, but it'll be like weddings, birthdays, stuff worth drinking for. Because I'm just that good, that used to feeling good now. It just like poison to me. Do you know what I mean? But every now and again, it's like I don't really drink on holiday anymore. And like we said earlier about having time and patience for your kids, I find if I go on holiday now and don't drink any alcohol, next morning I'm like, come on then, let's go.
Let's do something.
And it's just I did it for that long, and I just can't ask with it anymore. I've had all my fun. I've been to a beef for 16 times or something like that. And,
oh God.
And it was wild. I've done it all. So yeah.
Not my thing.
And when you get used to feeling so good, like you don't want to feel like shit, do you? So the problem is some people feel like shit all the time, so they don't really know what it's like to feel. To feel.
Do you ever get people saying the classic, "Oh, it's boring. If you don't drink, you're boring."
Of course, yeah. But like, I don't know. I've sort of got like different groups of friends now. I've got close to some lads who are banging to fitness lately, and I see them like a few times a week. So, and then for the social side of it, it's like, because I'm in the gym every night and I see people and I'm socialising there. It's like, I've got groups of mates who go out for food and stuff like that in week, but I don't really need to because I see everybody at the gym.
It's not like you're an hermit, is it?
No, exactly. That's what I mean.
Yeah. So I get that and all now. I don't go out half as often as I used to, but people are like, do you not do all? It's like, well, I see people all the time. Like we're doing a podcast now.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. There's other ways of socialising.
Exactly, I'll go out for a run or do like a CrossFit session or whatever. Which, is the way to do it. But
definitely,
that's all the questions anyway, Keith. So,
you
got anything to add to the pod, Matt?
At all?
Anything that you wanted to ask? I mean, I feel like I know Keith flies through it. That's the thing.
Yeah, well, like your answers are very like straight to the point, which is good. It seems that's kind of a good from our limited interaction. That seems like a good marker for you, to be honest. You seem quite laser focused and get it done. Right, what's next? Get this, whatever. So it's a good sort of.
That's right, and that's me at the moment.
But yeah, no. So I'm gonna certainly give A-Star a go and see.
If anyone's listening. In the way, I suppose a lot of people in Wakefield area will be listening. If you're at any other gym, genuinely, try A-Star.
Number one.
It is quality.
A-Star number one. What are your opening times, mate?
6 a.m. till 9 at night. I'm trying to get up. Everybody's crazy for training at Daft AM now.
They are, yeah.
So I'm trying to move it to 5 a.m. I've got some interviews with some new apprentices. What are going to be working them hours soon.
Yeah.
Nice.
The long days, but I could do with that extra hour. That 5 a.m. would be perfect. So keep your eyes peeled for that.
Yeah. Thanks for coming down, Keith.
Yeah,
Thank you, lads.
Appreciate it.
Nice one.